Yo,
did
what's
you?
up? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, my fault. I was saying if you sent the new email.
Yeah.
My fault.
Nah, we all good. We
All
all
right.
good. Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Farside TV with my co-host Jeremy Scipio
What's going on, people?
and a very special guest. Yeah, we'll let my very rustic studio, you know what I'm saying? The windows are open. We don't got air conditioning over here, you know what I'm saying? You might hear a dog bark, a cat scrap, you know what I'm saying? might be a few things going on. But we got my man Austin in the house. What's up, Austin?
What's going on, fellas? How you feeling?
Good, man. I appreciate you tapping in. We basically cover comedy and hip hop, and then a few things in between. So I always just got to start off with hip hop because I feel that's a common ground where everybody can come and kind of like make that connection. So my question for you.
I hate to do this to you. I did not get the new email. I totally apologize.
Yeah, right.
Because we're gonna get deep into it. It's only gonna get more awkward. I apologize.
Oh man, come on now. Where were you the first time you heard hip hop, and what was the song?
No, I'm talking about the email for the questions.
Oh, okay.
No, you talking about? I think that's the internal thing right now.
Yeah.
Wait, are we going off script? Or we?
No, I need. Did you send it?
Yeah.
It's not coming through.
It's not coming through. And we live too, so this is
yeah.
I just don't want it to get too deep, and then he'd be like, "How come you ain't following along?"
Sometimes people need to know how the lemonade is made. You know what I mean? Like,
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We'll be straight. Don't worry about it, Jeremy. I got you.
Yeah. Okay.
I got you.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So, Austin, where were you the first time you heard hip hop, and what was the song?
All right. So, oddly enough, I was 7, Indianapolis, Indiana. I was riding with my sister, and she was playing Life After Death. I got a story to tell. Ooh. And I was like, yo, what is this? And she she was like, yo, it's this dude, Notorious B.I.G. You shouldn't even be listening to this right now. Don't tell mom, but this shit is crazy. And I was like, it is crazy. And I just remember running back and telling my boys Sean and Keston about this shit. I was like, yo, I don't know why I felt like I told them like we could do something about it. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, it's Notorious B.I.G. He about to kill the game. I'm like, oh, that's when I found out Ready to Die was already out and everything. But yeah, no, that shit changed my life though, man. I was pretty blown back by that.
Yeah. You know what? I was a grown man. It was hard for me to you know what I'm saying, the Biggie and just all that stuff going on. It's a trip. I remember when Biggie was rotating around like with mixtapes and stuff like that. It was crazy because he was busting. Like everybody knows the Biggie Smalls, like the persona of the Big Don Dada and all that. Mm-hmm. But like lyrically, he was busted. Like after his music kind of evolved, mm-hmm. You know, he got into like the party, you know, I'm not saying he pulled back, but when he first came out, like the first Biggie Small stuff with like Biggie is the realest and just like all this stuff, I just remember being like, dang, this dude is busting. Like, man, he like, and it's a trip because I always talk about Dr. Dre. And what I tell people is that what Dr. Dre is good at is he can take a battle rapper and he can structure them into being like a great artist. And people like, man, Eminem, he was a battle rapper. 50 Cent, he was a battle rapper. Like he literally takes these dudes and then he shows them song structure and then he puts them under this ridiculous production and he turns them into these things, you know what I'm saying?
These real friends, like, yo, I can't do nothing with this I can't do nothing with this women ain't dancing to this shit, man. We need to move women, asses, clubs, like, yo, this is how we go. That's why I feel like Puff deserves his just due.
Oh, for sure.
Taking that and being like, yo, man, I'm about to he told you in the song, I take hits from the 80s. I'm gonna make this dude's flow is so incredible. I'm just gonna have a beat that's gonna make you rock your head, and you're gonna listen to everything this dude's saying with this flow, and you're just gonna be amazed. And I feel like that formula. I feel like Fat Joe kind of did something like that with Big Pun.
Yeah.
Right? Because I love Capital Punishment. I love Capital Punishment. But I just felt like, yo, like, Fat Joe was like, hey, man, we got to do what Puff is doing over there. Like, we got to do what Puff is doing over there, man. We got to sell records. Yeah, you know what I mean?
All right.
We literally did. Yeah, I'm like, no, ain't nobody buying that.
Hey, I remember first time I went to New York. This is so stupid. I remember my family was, showing like all the stuff, all the architecture and stuff, because my family grew up in New York, in Brooklyn, New York. And my aunt was like, so yeah, that's the Brooklyn Bridge right there. We was like, wow. And I was like, yo, where's the Brooklyn basement? They told me, I was like, what? I was like, the Brooklyn basement. They're like, what are you talking about?
Where the
like,
daughter's
tied up in the Brooklyn.
Where the daughter
is. And I was like, yo, but I definitely gotta give Biggie credit because he was making those anthem songs that stuck with you longer and longer than no offense to any other artist, but they just stuck with you longer than what was out at that time. You know what I mean? And I got to give, of course you had the West Coast, but Biggie kind of was in his own lane as far as like making those type of songs, But yeah, Puff, credit to Puff. Did you ever think hip hop would become a thing it is today?
You know what? I didn't because like I grew up like from age 10, probably about 9 in the Midwest. So like it was so segregated that, black was black and white was white. And if you listen to hip hop, you was like the Eminem type white boy, but it was only 3 of them. And then, any black dude that had cargo shorts and a Kanye fucking thing was called an Oreo. And it was only like 3 of them. And they only dated white girls and shit. So like, it was so segregated that I could never really see the mixing and just that transference of coolness, because now that's really what that is about. It's like, yo, the white people are accepting this in pop culture because they just want to be cool.
Right.
Like, so now it's like, yo, they just tapping into something where it's like, this is mainstream. Like I saw Jay-Z rocking crowds, but I never saw the ratios that these rappers are dealing with now. It's like, yo, you go to a concert, a Kendrick Lamar concert, it might be more white people in there than black people. And you're like, damn, man, this is kind of crazy. But I didn't see it. I was engulfed in our own culture, so I really didn't even care. Like I was like, ain't nobody listening to Blink 182. I was like, yeah, maybe on some. But did you want to hear something? Oh, sorry. I actually want to know what y'all think about that, because I mean, from an older generation, it's like how, because you know what I mean? Because like when you first started, like
Austin, I ain't that much older than you, man. Don't put me
not you. No,
I'll play with you.
Me and you are the same generation, but I'm very curious because even like so when you were talking about Dr. Dre, I was thinking to myself, I'm like on 2001, right? In my younger days, I used to sport a rag. Like, so when you see your line being passed on to that next generation, do you look
I'll break it down like this. So I can remember back when Dr. Dre first got Aftermath, and he was kind of like messing with everybody. Like he was really giving cats, like who was known for being dope with the pen, whatever producers was out there that had it cracking, like Dre was dealing with some of everybody. Like there was a point in time when he had got his money and he was just like, okay, I guess he had the money to just kind of just see, you know what I'm saying? Like to really see. This was before he had Snoop. This is like the beginning of Aftermath. I can remember having a conversation with somebody, and they were like, yo, man, Dre got this record label called Aftermath, man. There's supposed to be stuff going on or whatever. And we was like, Dre? Like, like really? Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even a big deal. Now, this is before 50 Cent. This is before Eminem. This is after Death Row.
Oh, this is right after he saw the Pit Bulls and the dude in his drawers in the corner. It was like, oh, I can't be around this shit.
Yeah. And so I saw hip hop. So I managed the Pharcyde. I'm not in the group, but I was around like while they were recording Bizarre Ride and all that kind of stuff, and I got to be around kind of like. So when they got signed, it was like they were already kind of popular, but not popular as rappers, more like dancers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like nobody ever started rapping and started like catching girls because they started rapping or something like that. Like everybody was like part of a scene like that predated like rhyming on stage. Like everybody had like their own right of something that they were kind of cool with. So to answer your question, for me, when I saw hip hop really change stuff, that was dope. When I saw hip hop really change, like to keep it a buck, it was probably 2000 and it was after 9/11, and all the radio stations were like not spending any money. The economy was just all screwed up. I remember going to Las Vegas and it was a ghost town, and it was kind of like the country just didn't know how it was going to bounce back. People weren't really throwing shows like that, but I want to say it was. I've told the story before, but I want to say it was either Scion. I think Scion was the first to really start doing it. And what they would do is they would like, so I would always be cool with like different PR people. I'd have homegirls who was doing PR for this, that, and other, because there was money kind of flowing around. And so you kind of had these female gatekeepers. Well, it was probably male and female, but I just knew female, kind of like gatekeepers where the corporations felt comfortable like giving them a budget to do what you would consider like a tastemaker type event or whatever now. So we went from like no shows, everything just being like crazy, just kind of like screwed up, just like what are we gonna do, to me getting calls from people. And it'd be one of my homegirls that did PR, and she said like, how much you guys want to do a show in Frisco? So I say, well, for like a 1,500 to 2,000 cap, this is what we do it for. She said, okay, I'll cut you that, but this is just a party for 300 people. And Scion is throwing this party, and the VP or whatever thought it would be cool to have a hip hop group there, and we just want to have you guys like perform for our people. Only 30 minutes, you don't have to do whatever. And then we were on this thing where we were like, man, we don't want to do shows without the band. We're gonna have the drums, the keys, the and then like the whole Scions and the Vitamin Waters and all those kind of people, they'd be like, man, we not worried about none of that. We just want y'all to come. And you know what? You might just have to rock for 20 minutes. The check is the same. Greg, you sweating the wrong shit, man. You getting, because I'd be like, no, the guy said they gotta fly. We said we gotta have the band. Greg, you worrying about the wrong shit.
You was trying to be an artist. You was out there like, hey man, you want to make this a great experience? And like, look.
But the
check is the check.
Man. And the funny thing about it is, it's like the first time I really saw it, when Sprite came at Busta Rhymes and they gave him like a lot of money to do a commercial. And then from that, he started doing videos. And it was kind of like, you didn't see this kind of corporate money pumped into hip hop like that. It was like, of course you'd have guys who were like kind of well-to-do, and then they would get like clothes and they might get a little bit of money to wear the clothes or just whatever. But you didn't see like in hip hop, and we're not talking about Timberland hip hop. We're not talking about, you know, like all this upper tier hip hop. We're saying, dude, the corporations were reaching their hand just straight down to just like decent artists and like, yo, we'll cover this, that, the third, this, that, the third, this, that, the third. So I say that to answer your question in a roundabout way. It was like me seeing corporations literally, how you have a person in there like they can't eat and they got a tube down their throat and they're getting, you know, fed intravenously. Like the corporations intravenously fed hip hop. Like I saw it happen. Like where it was like nobody was really tripping off the promoter like that. You know what I'm saying? Now it did come back to that time. It did rotate back around to that. But I think when it did come back to the promoter, I think for a lot of promoters, it kind of jaded them. And I think it jaded them in a way where the promoters that had the plugs on like big venues, like 1,000 people, 2,000 people, whatever, they just kind of exploited a lot of the younger rappers and the younger talent by saying like, yo, I tell you what, I'm doing a show. I'm gonna have X, Y, and Z. I know X, Y, and Z in a 2,000 capacity spot can sell 1,500 tickets by themselves. But if you want to be down, you can slang a couple tickets and here's your tickets and you can open for them. But the whack part about it was the promoters kind of stopped spending money on the marketing. And so they just got all these kids on these kids that want to be on. And so they're out there slanging tickets and it's kind of doing okay. But then at some of the shows that I saw, our audience would kind of be like, man, how did they end up on the bill? You know what I'm saying? And then you have to hear these guys talk.
They got bringer shows, Jeremy.
I'm about to say that's no different than today. You talking about it like it was thousands of years ago. This is literally what's happening today. Like, I mean, I remember first time because I didn't go to concerts until I was like older. I just didn't really, you know, because you know the artists would change the words and all that stuff. It's like this ain't what I've been bopping to, you know, listen to the CD. So it's just like, you know, why am I spending extra money for the artist to fuck up the words that I memorized in my head? So I remember this girl was like, "Can you take me to this Trey Songz concert?" And I was like, "Whatever." So I took her to the Trey Songz concert, and I mean, you talk about 15 niggas. Like, y'all want it? It was like, y'all ready for Trey? It was like, yeah. Like, Trey, let him know you here. Oh, yeah. Like, okay.
Like, yeah, you need to. After seeing 9 acts, is he really here? Yep.
Like, y'all ready for Trey? Like, yeah, you ready for Trey? Yeah. We got this upcoming act.
Are y'all excited for Trey Songz? Well, give it up for Trey Nasty. That ain't true. It's like, no, what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, will that ever go away?
No, I don't think it will because, like, listen, at the end of the day, the promoters, I look at it like this, right? I say entertainment is built of horses and wagons, right? So horses are people who actually love the art. You know what I mean? They have something to give to it. Now, all of that other stuff. Wagons are people who just look at this shit like, yo, I'm here to make money. I got to attach myself to a horse and I get it however I can get it. I don't care about it. It's a bad script. Fuck the script. You get in there and make 10 million so I can make 2. All right, let's do this. Like, so in my mind, I'm like, yeah, promoters, sometimes they have like an artistic integrity. They want to make a good show for the people, but most promoters are like, yo, I'm trying to get the most money out of this. So I'd rather do a bringer show because I don't have to pay for marketing.
Hey,
how I got a market when I got 12 acts that's going to bring 300 people a piece? It's cool. We filling the venue out. Like, need no marketing. It's like, yeah, but it's not a good show. Who cares about the show?
Cares about the show, that money rolling in.
I feel bad for the guys though. I mean, and that's, you know, I guess that's just my good-hearted nature or whatever. But I just see these dudes and they don't even got beard. You know what I'm saying? They standing in the hallway.
Oh, nothing.
Man,
like nothing bare.
What they got is 20 family members, 20 to 50 family members that paid to see them perform that night, and they got to high five themselves before they went. And oh man, so tell me this though. So I'm explaining the hip hop side of it, and then you guys are saying that there's a comedy side of it. Is it wrong to look at that as kind of like slime ballish, or is it kind of like, you know what, that is providing an opportunity for somebody to, I don't know.
Have you seen The Wire?
Yeah, I'm watching it now.
Remember when something fucked up happened to The Wire? They go like, it's all in the game.
All in the game, right?
All in the game.
It's all in the game.
Like the homie died. They be like, damn, that's messed up. It's all in the game.
Hey, look, I was telling somebody the other day, because they were complaining about, people who steal and steal jokes and comedy and shit like that. And I was like, look, man, it's part of the ecosystem. You need.
Oh, love that word. Love that word.
You need these people. You need people. You need the thieves. You need the people who aren't talented and all they want to do is network. You have it's an array of, because if the game, it wouldn't be life if everybody in it loved it. It's like basketball. Yeah. It's only 5% of the league that actually loves playing basketball. Everybody else might just be tall. They want money. This person wants girls. This person because think about it. If Ben Simmons really loved basketball, if he really loved basketball, wouldn't he know how to shoot? Wouldn't he know how to shoot a basketball at some point if he really loved basketball? That's not his life. He don't love that. He just happened to be 6'10", can run the court, do all of this other stuff. He like, yo, man, I'm fucking Kardashians and shit. I don't need to. He's like, yo, man, y'all learn how to shoot. Y'all need to know how to shoot. I made $185 million.
Hey man, I've been listening to College Dropout. I don't know why I'm obsessed with that right now, randomly, but Kanye had the line. He said, "Drug dealer by Jordan, crackhead by crack, and the white man get paid off for all that." You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like, that's true in rap and it's true in comedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be, like he said, you could be the wagon, you could be the horse, but no matter what, you got to feed the entire beast. the entire ecosystem, because especially in comedy, there's a lot of people who, like, man, there's people we'll know for like 5-10 years, man, and straight up, sometimes we sit there and look at it, we be like, so what do you do again? You were been around, like, I know
y'all cold, man. Y'all.
No, but they don't. If you don't get on stage, you're a comedian, you don't get on stage. But it's a lot of jobs you can eat. You can eat off of. You can get more done in comedy by not being a comic. Because everybody, as a critic of comedy, is an expert with no degrees, never been on stage. They'll tell you who did this. There's people who book big shows, big venues. I mean, the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
they hold the keys.
Never been comics in their life. Don't know how to tell a joke. It's just part of the game, man. It's just part of the game. But Greg, the same. It's the same in hip. Like, yo, how many people do you know that can rap their ass off? But overall, they don't know how to play the game, or they don't know how to make a song per se. There are a lot of great rappers.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up great MCs.
Yeah.
It just never will be as big as a person, even like Kanye. I love Kanye, but even as Kanye, it's like, yeah, there's 100 people that are as good as Kanye at rapping, but that's not why he's who he is.
Oh no, he was chosen.
I mean, that production helped a lot. That motherfucker.
It helped, but it's dope producers. There's dope producers out there, and not to ruin dreams, but we'll just say, man. We'll just say this, it's a lot to go along with that, man. It's not, but it's like a comedian having writers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. I'll give you an example. A lot of people used to go hard on Drake. That was their thing. They just went hard on Drake. Like,
Drake. Oh yeah.
He's not a rapper. He's not writing. Dude, none of that matters, man. None of that matters, because whatever he's doing enough of it that when the pie gets split up, You know what I'm saying? His slice of the pie is so cool that, man, he don't have to worry about writing rhymes. Like you said.
Man had 12-year run. You think he care? He like, yo, I don't need to learn how to rap. I'm number one on Billboard every month. What
He's
you
still
think
running.
I know how to rap? You think I need to know how to rap even if I don't rap? I don't know if he does or if he doesn't. I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, none of it matters.
Oh, it's insignificant. It's just
really
truly
is. It's like, yo, you know, it's 1 in a million if you want to be Jay-Z. 1 in a million. Scarface was surprised that Jay-Z came back. I'm talking about Scarface is one of the dopest MCs to me. And Scarface was like, you just gonna come in here, fucking memorize this rap one time and then leave? I'm like, yeah, don't compare yourself to him. That's a once in a million thing right there. He walk it out like Scarface surprised at this shit. Like Jay-Z is really an amazing fucking artist, bro. Like,
yeah,
don't take it for granted.
My little story, I've told it a million times, but I saw at a Dr. Dre, it was a Dr. Dre showcase, and I saw Eminem perform, and man, I was like, nope, people ain't gonna buy that. They ain't going for that. Nope, not gonna go for that. I was kind of mad. I'm like, man, he had Exhibit, he had Saphir, he had Exhibit, Saphir, Raz, because the Golden State Warriors were coming out. It was like a aftermath showcase, and it was in the
what year is this?
Late 90s.
Late 90s, and he just Eminem actually goes back to our conversation. Eminem helped usher this whole thing into white people because that
Russell Raymond
shit, like that really got white people like on board with, oh, maybe there is something to this hip hop thing. Like there's like you're talking about killing themselves. That black people could really never get on board with Marshall Mathers LP. Like, hey man, ain't nobody choking my mama and shit, man. Look.
Yeah, he came out the gate with like, you know,
came out super
like the first song was like, but see, he was the anti.
He was,
you know, that was around an era where Britney Spears and NSYNC and Backstreet. So he even though he's against them, he's still one of them.
He was emo, man. He was emo. He was like the first. He was like the first dude to step out there and talk about like, dudes like Little Uzi Vert and all that kind, like that kind of thing. Like that was their Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Caz, or you know whatever. Like that was their start. Like a rapper able to bare his soul. You know what I'm saying? To just which I never really got into that. I mean, I'm not.
Jay-Z made 4 albums to do one song cry. That's 4 albums, one song cry, dog. I was like, yeah, this is the first time he was really talking about, and he didn't even talk about it emotionally. He was like, man, you don't get a nigga back like that. Like it was more like, he was like, yo, man, this is bullshit. But I'm like, nah, Eminem was like on some super revved up white boy shit that was just like, all right, like, and I look white. So people used to always be like, so like, did you listen to the Marshall Mathers LP? And I'd be like, nah, I'm not really, like, that's not really my shit. And they'd be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Just calm down, bro. No one's I'm listening to Get Rich or Die Trying right now.
I ain't gonna lie, I was jealous people had this stuff memorized. I didn't know what they was talking about. Cause when for Hi My Name Is, that's when I was like, this is kind of, for me that was kind of whack, but all the girls liked it. Like, Hi My Name Is, I was like, what is that? You know what I mean? But about the time Marshall Mathers LP came out, like he was spitting. I was like, oh man, how you know the words to the song?
Who was the first artist that was impressive to you guys? Like who just like was like, yo, this is blowing my mind. Like not the first person you heard, but like somebody that you were just like, yo, this shit is incredible. Like I don't even know how I'm listening to this right now.
You go, Jeremy.
Hip hop, man. I don't know. I accepted whoever's in front of me. I mean, I can't really pinpoint like the first. I mean, because I was an MC Hammer fan. I was a dog. I was, I mean, you can't.
Too legit.
I mean, even like Heavy D, like, like, I keep referencing Waterbed Head. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a hard one to say. Like, but anybody know me know like I rock with Nas, but I was kind of late to Nas because I remember my cousin. He was like, yo, who's your favorite rapper? And I'm up here like DMX and Jay-Z. And this is back when Jay-Z. I only knew like one Jay-Z song, which was "Can I Get It" or something like that. And he was like, nah. I was like, well, who you think of best rapper? He's like, Nas, man. I'm like, wait, like listen to this.
What album did he play?
Changed my life. At that time it was written, but then went back to Illmatic. Then I've been seatbelt like ready to go ever since.
I'm with it.
Nah, man. For me, I'll say Run DMC changed my life, man. And you gotta understand, I'm not talking about the 90s Tougher Than Leather, Run DMC and all that. I'm talking about 82, 83. Because this is the thing, there was no social media. So kind of how we got our fashion was like what was on MTV. So you had affordable, like bomber jacket, white tee, Lee jeans, shell toe Adidas, all affordable pieces. You know what I'm saying? Only thing they had that you really couldn't get in LA was, but some people kind of had them, the Cazals. You know what I'm saying?
Was it?
Cazals, the glasses.
Oh man, yeah, you just got me.
They call them gazelles, but you know what I'm saying. But Run DMC, they blew my mind, man. Me seeing them rhyme, and you gotta understand, you saw other people rhyming, but Jam Master Jay cutting where you really didn't have DJs cutting, like not as part of a show like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew people DJ'd and you had all that going on, but a DJ that was really rocking, because you gotta understand, Jam Master Jay would like rock the show with break beats and breaks and stuff like that. Like it got to a point of where he was getting like Run DMC instrumentals and stuff like that. But those dudes was rocking breaks, and dudes were doing a whole show off of no Serato and tapping on a button and bringing something back or whatever. You had to know the songs front and backwards and side to side.
Now, see that's why you're addicted to trying to bring that whole experience. Because that's what it was to you. You like, yo, I'm used to an experience. Like, yo, y'all just want the person to show up. Like, yo, what would Run DMC be without Jam Master Jay cutting?
A lot of pride. Like I come from a place of where dudes had a lot of pride in their show, dude. Like your show was everything. Like it was, dude. There was no social media. Like it wasn't that. The social media was you going and rocking a show. That's what the social media was. And then somebody calling and telling, and then you might pop up in a magazine or something like that where people could kind of, hear the buzz.
I ain't mad at it. Do y'all like new people?
These Cazals gonna run you at the cheapest like $300. So just let you know.
Oh, come on, man.
You had some?
Oh, no. I never did. I never did. You know why? Because I've seen them. And when they get old, I just don't like the way they look when they get older. They just, it's kind of like, it's one of those things like they're gonna be fresher than some Air Force Ones, but when they start that, when they moved over the hill, it's just kind of like, oh man, and it's just like, yeah, when they're rap. So
like, it's no bringing them back. That's for sure.
So what's up, Austin? Space Jam 1 or 2?
Hey, look, man, neither.
He hard. I like Austin, man.
Because I rewatched the Space Jam 1 and I was like, yo, they tried their hardest to help Michael Jordan get through this experience. It was like, yo, they cut all of his lines. They was like, yo, just do a thumbs up, Mike. Just because this is take 27 and you're still not getting it. We see why you're the greatest basketball player that ever lived. This is just
Well, you know, he was acting. You understand, the technology has advanced. Michael Jordan was acting with tennis balls, man, on a green screen. Like he wasn't even acting with nobody. Like, it was his first acting job.
That's a good point.
Man, don't go easy on him, man. Don't go easy on him.
But my counter is he was terrible in all his commercials too. So I'm like, yo, there wasn't no animation in that shit. So I'm like, nah, that was a good point, Jeremy. But I'm like, you see him in the Gatorade commercials. Is it the shoes? I don't know. Spike, is it the shoes? Like,
yeah, that is true. They always give him like 1 or 2 lines in the commercials.
Just
like, you give him a sentence, he melts down.
Try to watch the new one, Greg. I got 25 minutes into it, and I was like, there should be kids here. Like, this isn't for me. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm just like, yo, this is not good. But I can't say it's not good because it's not for me. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I was just like.
But you know what, though? That meme that's been going around, I highly disagree with that meme where they say, like, people say, I don't like Space Jam 2. Well, it's like, you 30 years old, it ain't made for you. Hold on. I haven't seen the movie yet, but man, they had the Matrix reference. They had like you know, like Looney Tunes ain't today. They are targeting 30-year-olds and older. They know what they doing. They trying to bring the new kids to the old. You can't trick me. Like, it was so many references to a bunch of bunk ass movies that's been in the toilet for 20, 30 years. Like, talking about this is a 90s nostalgic acid trip. That's exactly what it is.
Shrek wasn't for me, but I enjoyed that shit. So, but at the end of the day, you're right. No, both of them.
I just disagree with that meme, but I haven't seen it yet. So if it's trash, I'll take everything back.
Oh, that's true. It's not a good movie, bro. It's not a good movie. That's all right, bro. That's all right. People, I don't know how somebody could even try to hold that against LeBron. Like, he wrote the script. like he had anything to do with his, like, he was like, nah, I like this line. Or I should say I'm like Kevin Hart. Like, I'm like, he ain't write that shit.
You know what's sad? You know, this is like, because when I said this before already, though, like, you know, when LeBron lost the first round of the playoffs, like because he hadn't lost like the first round in, like, I think it was like 14 years, something like that. Like, he stomped his foot and ran off. People was like, oh, he mad because he ain't getting the championship this year. I'm like, no, he mad because Space Jam 2 about to come out. And Bugs Bunny gonna be like, nigga,
really
give us AD, like, give us Kawhi, nigga, give us at least where Chris Paul at? Where Chris Paul at?
Championship to even this shit out.
LeBron gonna be playing for the Monstars next year. No, I got that from the internet. I'm not gonna lie.
What's funny is I like how y'all do like the hip hop and the comedy. Because me and my boy Ryan were actually talking about like how integrated comedy and hip hop were, where they would do these comedic skits, and it was like, yo, it was just, you know, like you would have the cameos from the comedians in the videos and stuff like that. I just feel like they don't do it no more, but like that was a huge thing for me. Like,
nah, you know what? I've seen dang. I'll tell you who's been great for where we are right now. Spice Adams. Now, he's not a comedian, but Effion Crockett, he's a comedian.
It's Jeremy's face for me. Was
yeah, man. You're giving this new nigga credit for some shit that's been going on since the dawn of time. No,
but I'm saying he's doing it.
The reason why comedy and hip hop go together, because
I'm saying he's doing it now, though. I'm saying he's doing it now. I'm saying right now. I can say this. I wasn't that into verses like that. I'm just, you know, I listen to house music and E40. Like, I listen to other stuff. I mean, I have an appreciation for whatever, but that's what I listen to. Mm-hmm. But with the whole verses thing, I can say, man, Spice Adams and Effion Crockett, like what they were doing to mimic the verses drew me into that. And it drew so many people into it that they became a part of like the larger ones. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta give it up, man. Jeremy over here being hard on him, man. Nah, man.
Well, because you, to me, I could be wrong. It seemed like he was talking about the origins, like the fact that comedy and hip hop as arts, like come together.
No, he's talking about the origin, but I'm saying there's people that are doing it now.
Yeah, like I said, I give him credit. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen enough of Spice Adams to even comment on him personally.
The last person that I saw do it was Kanye in Dark Twisted Fantasy with Rock doing the After the Blame Game.
Yeah.
Like it was like that, where it was like, yo, he's actually on the album, and he's been like, Kanye's always done that. But I remember even when it was like the Mad Rapper, like, Jay used to have my man who used to do all of Al Pacino's movies. He would do Carlito's Way. He would, you know what I mean? So I haven't seen any, the person who uses a lot of comedy in his music videos is DaBaby.
Yeah.
Where it's like, even his shows are like almost on some like pageantry type shit. Like you were saying earlier, Greg, where it was like, people have actually told me, yo, his show is fucking crazy. Like you go there, he throwing pounds of oregano around like it's weed. He walking in with a baby diaper and shit. I'm like, yo, this seems like a real, it's like a real show. Like it ain't like no rap show. Like Future ain't got no dances, no nothing. It's him and some flip flops. Like I'm fucking
You got your Big Sean's, you got your Busta Rhymes, you got your Ludacris, you know what I'm saying? When he came out with the big arms and get back, you don't know me like that. I mean, comedy and, I used to produce a show called a Comedy Rap Battle. Comedy and hip hop are permanently linked together. And I do believe it's because of the origins on how these things, both of these art forms are very young art forms, you know what I mean? And like, most art forms have thousands and thousands of years of history. You know what I mean? Like literally both of these art forms started around like 1960, 1970. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is both of them start with the MC. You know what I'm saying? Like the person on the microphone, you know what I mean? Who was like the solo act. It's like, yo, we'll entertain this. Well, I shouldn't say that. Hip hop started with the DJ, but I'm just saying like, the whole like, hey, you're on. You know what I'm saying? And you have to entertain people with whatever you got, like right now.
It's just you,
it's you. Like, ain't nothing gonna save you.
A lot of cheat codes have been introduced to that, though, man.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's like how, but it's because of that, like, reason why they're permanently linked. Like, a rapper in some way has to be comical. You know what I mean? I was just talking to somebody about Kanye's workout plan. Like, that whole song is a comedy. Like, it's not like, he shouldn't be taken seriously as a rapper. If he made 2 or 3 more of those type of songs, dude, you out of the greatest rap category. You are now in the you the goofball.
You know what I mean? It's like a Weird Al shit. Where
Weird Al. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kanye's always been in tune with his like humor and shit. Like, what is it? What's the joke? The one with Nia Long and Tracy Ellis Ross is in the video too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole thing, man. But you're right, Greg. There has been a lot of cheat codes, but on the same effect, that's how comedians look at some of this social media and other stuff, because like stand up is a pure art form to the true artist, where it's like, no, it ain't no songs. You ain't doing no songs. You ain't doing no nothing. It's you for an hour and a microphone with a crowd in front of you. That's it. That's all you get. You don't get no cues. You don't get none of that shit. It's just you.
To lightly touch on your buddy, Ryan Davis.
Yeah.
He's an anomaly. Like he put it this way. So Facebook is where I kind of saw him at first. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing reaction videos, you know what I'm saying? Which I don't know if he's the first guy to do it. I just know that he's who I saw doing it. If when I realized what a reaction video was, he was the guy. And I was like, damn, this dude is pretty funny. And he's doing it. But where the anomaly comes in, he's a stand-up comedian too. You know what I'm saying? It's it's bad in a way because it makes people who do that social media thing kind of, he does it so well. Like he does both of them so well. It could make that person that's doing this social media thing feel like, oh man, people are laughing. I'm getting social media interactions. They're laughing at me.
I think I know where Austin gonna go with this.
Well, no, I'm saying is look, the real anomaly is he was a stand-up comedian first.
What?
The majority of social media people, they don't do stand-up. The majority of social media people want the attention. They go online, they trying to make something of themselves. I'm not saying like they just different than any other person, but the majority of people online are just trying to find their way in life, and they feel like this might be an out. So I'm gonna ask people questions at Walmart randomly, and then they get a following, and then they're like, well, I gotta figure out how to monetize this shit. The only way to monetize that shit, you know, before all the ads and shit came was I gotta get on stage. So now I gotta figure out this stand-up shit. But stand-up is an art form where you need to be able to fail in the dark. Because you're not gonna be good in the beginning. No one has ever been good. Anybody in life who has started out with stand-up has been bad at one point. Even if they were better than other people's bads, they were still bad. Like Chappelle didn't get on stage and just be like, I'm Dave. He was able to fail as a 14-year-old kid in pizza parlors and work his material out. But when you get 500,000 followers because you asking questions on Walmart and these people want to come see you, now they like, well, you the headliner. What's up? Like, do 40. But Greg, I don't know if you ever been on stage to do any stand-up at all, but 3 minutes to a first timer is an hour. That shit'll make your neck go on fire. Like, yo, like, and
we got a question from the comment section. How did you and Ryan Davis like get together for the podcast?
So essentially what happened is we linked up at Drew Tillman's house, and we just started talking comedy, and we felt like we should work together. So when I started going on the road with him, we were like, well, yo, we should just be roommates and just work on scripts and stuff like that. So when we started rooming together, like, we would be up late and we would just be talking about bullshit. Like, if we saw something online, I would be like, yo, did you see this shit? And we would just talk for like 2 hours, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. We'd be like, yo, we should probably just record this. Like, this is like good conversation and stuff like that. So then, you know, we started filming. I bought all the equipment and I was like, all right, well, let's do it then. So.
That's dope. That's so dope. That's so dope. And you know what? I tell people, you're the best investment you could ever put your money on, man. People like to look at other people and other stuff and bet on other people and kind of like cheer from the background for other people. You're your best investment because you know what you'll do to pull it across the finish line. Nah, that's dope. I commend you on that one. So the Different Experience podcast, break that down to us.
So essentially, man, I just was like, I just like bringing comedy to anything. So I'm like, if I could talk to just regular people, because it really started to me is when I was talking to Jeremy and Vaughn about some stuff, and then I remember our friend Vaughn Roberts was basically he just been a man of he's just been a man of
he knows Vaughn.
The earth. Like, yo, he just been everywhere. So he was telling me this story about how he used to sledgehammer cow pee to make gasoline and diesel fuel. And I was just like, and the jokes were just flying. And I was like, yo, I know so many people. I know astronauts. I know that. So I'm like, yo, let me just bring comedy to just the everyday traveler and just listen to these different people living these different lives, and let me just bring the comedy to it. So it's one of those things where I just always wanted to, I like learning stuff and I like laughing. So if I could do those two things in my own podcast, then I'm happy and I can listen to it over with. And I'm pretty sure other people will enjoy it too, because I feel like the majority of people go online for two things. They go to be entertained and they go to learn stuff. Mm-hmm. Most people get away with doing one of those things. If you can do two of those things consistently, you good.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Do you have you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Jeremy.
I was like, do you have any unique takes on relationships?
Yes. So this is the realest shit you might ever hear. It just hit me. It was an epiphany. In order for any relationship to work, the man must kill part of his former self and sacrifice who he used to be in order for this thing to work. Any relationship with a woman will not work unless you sacrifice who you are as a man. This is the real estate. This is why all these rich dudes getting these divorces, because they not willing to kill themselves, because they rich. They like, yo, why would I ever do this shit? And then somebody ends up leaving. That's why you ask your father, anybody who you see a relationship that's been more than 25 years, that is not the same man that I do.
He's been worn down.
It's gone.
Filed down.
I just know personal experience. I'm like, yo, I'm with my girl and I'm just like, yo, I'm doing shit I ain't never done because I want it to work. And I'm like, yo, this is the only way, because she ain't gonna sacrifice. She ain't gonna sacrifice. They don't sacrifice who they are. They can't, because they not the hunter. Only the hunter sacrifices who he is. Think of what a hunter really is. A hunter goes out in the woods, puts on some goofy ass bush suit to kill a deer. What does the deer do to get killed? Be a deer. That's it. That's the only thing. That's all I know. That's all I know. That's all I've seen. That's all I've experienced. The relationships that fail, the relationships that succeed. This is all my data coming into this one place. And I'm like, yo, this is what it is.
You need to package that up, man, and sell small portions of it. You know what I'm saying, man? That's what you need to be doing to get your bread up.
Here's the thing. When we go online and we see all these people, right? They be like, oh, you got this, like the Kevin Samuels dude. He be like, oh, you got to do this. Like, yo, at the end of the day, I don't want to hear none of that shit. Because the dude, it don't matter about no high value man. Because even a high value man, a woman don't care about a high value man. She says she wants him, but she's not willing to kill herself in order to be with him. So again, the high value man is like, yo, why would I kill me? Why would I kill who I am when I could just keep fucking these hoes out here? Like, yo, it ain't got there's no benefit for me, right? The girl, every woman on the planet thinks she's LeBron James, even when she's not. Like, it's like Carmelo Anthony. It's like, yo, P, they said they want me to come off the bench. Like, yeah, you should come off the bench. You definitely should come off.
Your 35th season.
Well,
everybody you started with
Melo, man. Go easy on Melo, man.
I'm not getting on Melo, but think about that. Melo at a press conference looks over. It's like, yo, they want me to come off the bench. It's like, yeah, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and Paul George was 5th in the MVP voting. You, however, averaged 16 points. You should come off the bench, but you don't think you should. And that's why you're having a problem right now. Because you think you're Denver Melo when you're really OKC Melo. That's how you end up in Portland. And then what's Portland gonna do? And then what Portland gonna do? Portland gonna be like, well, you not even Portland Melo no more.
Yo, you in your bag right now.
Oh, wow.
All I'm saying is a bunch of people online and in this world who think, and this is just not to women, it's dudes too, because dudes talk to girls who they got no business talking to. She is 10 and you broke, You got no infrastructure. You got nothing. Why do you think you should be privy to talking to somebody that look like that? Why? You ain't earned it. The one thing that I love is the shit is simple. You want a bad bitch? Get you some money. Get you some money. You ain't got no money. It's gonna be hard for you to get some bad bitches. That's for sure. Because where money is, bad bitches follow.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? I'm throwing it out there. I don't have an opinion, even though my opinion is to totally agree with everything you're saying. But you know, there are women who believe that though they might be highly attractive, that they're not tempted by money. You know what I'm saying? That's the misconception with women.
Knock it off.
Hey guys, come on. You have to make it interesting. Right. So, you know, they would say that they're not tempted by money. You know what I'm saying? So how would this guy maintain this woman? You know what I'm saying? Even though she is in her head of 10. Okay.
So
without money.
Money will intersect conceptually with security. Women love security just as much as they love money, right? So you know, even in Atlanta, I used to hang out with a cousin of mine, and he used to roll up to the club in a minivan. Mm-hmm. But he would be getting these girls from the Atlanta club. And I would be like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, yo, this lady is getting in this minivan. And then it hit me because he's like, I ain't trying to call him a thug or nothing like that, but he's like a tough guy. He was somebody in the New York street. So he was known and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So there are certain things that have nothing to do with cash that enforce that infrastructure where it's like, oh, he might not really have in his bank account, but he's somebody. That's why women will fuck dudes. That's why women will fuck dudes who are just famous. Cause they looking at that like, oh, the infrastructure is here. He's somebody. It's like, man, he just got 10 million followers. That don't equate to real cash. But a woman is looking at that like, this is better than somebody who don't have 10 million followers. I know that. Mm-hmm. So how about we figure out how to make your 10 million followers money for all of us? How about we figure that out together as a team? Because we're a team. It'd be like, okay, cool. But I even give that woman some credit because any woman who comes into an organization that isn't structured and gives structure, then she deserves a piece of the pie. Yeah. Now, if I meet a woman and I got $2 million and I got an accountant, a financial manager, you know, a budget and all of that stuff, it's like, really, what do you really bring into my life? Like, I can hire a decorator, like I can do all of that stuff. So you really got no leg to stand on. And again,
you cold on them, man.
I wish we had some lady followers right now. I would love to hear some chime in.
No, we gotta bring him back, man. We gotta have a part 2 on this one, man. We got to throw some preparation into this, man.
Hey. Yo, I like that he in his bag though. He like, look.
Yeah, I'm a believer, man. I've been sold. I'm not an easy sell too, but I say I'd buy a bag of that.
I've been telling people ever since Kevin Samuels came out. I was like, man, I knew this shit before this dude popped in here. All of this overvaluing of each of the genders, it just doesn't bode well because ain't nobody being honest with each other or themselves. Right. It's like, yo, as a man, I can't show you who I really am. You won't want to fuck me if I do. I know it. I've done it before. I've told a girl who I really am, and she was like, "I'm good." It's like, no, thank you, no, thank you. And you're like, all right, well, you write that down, and you're like, don't do that, all right. But you know, and women, honestly, women are doing the same thing. They just not doing it to the extent that men are doing it, right? Because at the end of the day, a man don't really give a fuck. Like it ain't much a woman can tell a man that it's gonna stop the date.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I got 2 kids. Just you still fucking, right? Like that's not stopping you from doing something at the end of the day. No, I was just telling you, all right, cool. Don't waste time with that shit. Like, let's talk about the good stuff. It's like, so to me, I just find it funny because I see so many posts online that they be like, if you don't accept me for me, then this is like, but what if you're an asshole? What if you're the problem?
Never consider it. They don't consider it. Period.
None of the posts
Never even in
like,
their head. Never in their head.
Toxic people and the blah blah. It's like, what if you're the toxic person? They
Or
never heard a toxic person be like, well, I'm toxic and I need to leave this situation. No.
Or you know, I like to simplify it. You know, like, what if you're not up to the other person's standard? It's not about high value. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, everybody got like a checklist of like 5 or 10 things. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get 4, but you're gonna get 1 wrong. But you know, a lot of times guys walk into the situation, they know, like, hey, I'm fucked up. You know what I mean? Most times it is I'm broke, but you know what I mean? Hey, I got morals. You know what I'm saying? I pray, I eat Wheaties, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, whatever the other weak area is, you know what I'm saying? But women tend not to consider that at all.
No, it's all here's the thing, it's all relative because it's a lady in a Corolla that's saying no to a motherfucker in a trailer. Yeah. So at the end of the day, everybody's having a hard time finding themselves on the spectrum. Because no one wants to be honest. People, this new generation thinks they're honest, but they're not. They're really not. You can't be honest if you're politically correct. Like, yo, it's impossible. If I'm holding back, I'm not being truthful.
Yeah.
So I'll be laughing because I'm not on this dating scene no more. I've told the person that I'm killing, you're dead. Don't worry about it. You're already dead.
The metaphor is wild, by the way. It is like, it's like, yo, who wrote this for you? OJ? Like, this is such a
you have to murder him so he can never come back. Here's the thing. If it doesn't work out, trust me, there'll be a resurrection. You'll have an Easter Sunday. He'll come right back. Because that's who you can be when you're single. But if you're a man and you're in a relationship, say goodbye. Say all the way goodbye. Because it ain't even worth it. It's like you trying to hang on to nah. Yeah. Leave them trophies behind, man. No one gives a shit that you was high state champion in high school. It's like, bruh, it's over.
What's the name? Smooth has a good point. What's the name of the book, man? You might as well just pass this up and tell me. What's the name of the book? All of
this is in my set where I'm like, I talk about all this shit.
And that's why you headline it. You know what I'm saying? So that part. You know what I mean?
That's how. Look, man. I always find it funny because I just noticed this. And this is just my girl. I ain't even gonna hit y'all with the Kevin Samuel shit where it's like all women, but most women, it's we until it's their turn. And then this is my time. I thought it was our time. No. I need my time. But what about my time? No, your time is our time. I'm like, yo, I'm getting it. All of it is confusing to me because I thought we would have. No. You're just killing you. I'm not killing me. That's what she's saying to you. She's like, I'm not dead. You're dead. You got to do you. You do you, but not you. And then I'm going to do me because it's still me because I matter. You don't. What you watching? You ever been in a relationship, Jeremy, where you like, we're going to watch what I want to watch.
You're going to have Jeremy sleeping in the car tonight, man.
No.
I had a friend the other day tell me, yo, you explain to your woman? Yeah, I explained to my woman. What the hell are you supposed to do? It's your woman. He's like, so if you come in the house and she's like, well, what were you doing? You gonna answer? I'm like, yeah. Why wouldn't I answer? You don't answer? He was like, nah, I ain't explaining. I said, so you just walk in and you walk past her? No, I tell her, don't worry about it. I said, I don't see that lasting, brother.
Yeah, it's levels. And, you know, to think that you're, like you said, it's like, to think you're going to go to the next level, but you haven't killed yourself. I'm going to use your phraseology. It's just not going to happen. You're fighting a losing battle because that next step really is Dead Man. It's the
Dead Man.
The man being dead is the
you
next.
won. You're dead.
That's it. You killed. You didn't. Yeah, you're right. That's actually, man. I'm telling you, that's to be the book, man. That's
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah, but here's the thing, dudes ain't gonna want to read it. Dudes ain't gonna want to read. You gonna read a book about how to listen. The same
Kill
thing.
yourself.
Here's the craziest thing is, bro. This shit really made me laugh. Steve Harvey wrote a book for women, right? That really told them how to make it work, right? Mm-hmm. This shit, that's why men got so mad when he wrote the shit. They was like, "Yo, what the fuck is you doing?"
Cheat codes.
And women still didn't listen. No one wants to really better themselves if it means destroying the parts that you don't even know exist that are bad for you. Like it all goes back to you don't even know the parts of your game you need to work on. It's like telling like Cameron he's a bad rapper right now. He don't know that shit. He like,
hey, he knew when he tried to spit a verse on J. Cole's album, he's like, "No, you just do the intro." Like, I got a legendary verse. I'm dipset. It's like, yeah, bro.
I keep computers puting. It's like, yo, I can't.
Hey, I was listening to the J. I was like, "Oh, J. Cole featuring Cameron. Cameron, y'all know what time it is. Killer Cam, killer. Back to J. Cole again."
Now imagine a scene where Cameron was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna do the intro." You telling me he didn't want to rap just a little bit, and J. Cole was like, "I'm not. We didn't pay enough for a whole verse, Cam. I'm sorry.
He didn't pay enough for it.
My bad."
So he paid to be on. Yo, you
like, Greg, have you ever seen an artist, right, where they try to step out of what they do well?
All the time.
Right? When they don't have the ability. It's cool if
all
you
the time.
But if you ain't got the ability, you be like, why are you doing this?
I'm gonna tell you something funny about that. It's some people that can do it.
Yeah.
It's some people that can.
It is some people that can.
I've seen it, and I've been like, dang.
But you know what, Greg? To tie it back in, what you said about Ryan. Now you start giving hope to people who can't.
Yeah.
And now we got a problem, right?
Yeah.
And we all thinking we're the same, and we're not.
Oh man,
man,
don't let the smooth taste fool you, man. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. Quick question: if you could have your dream verses, who would your dream verses be? They could be dead or alive, and somebody dead against somebody alive, or vice versa.
Ooh. Dream versus. I would go Big versus Pac, because I just don't think that people like. I think Pac was more iconic.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do think Big was just a better maker of music. Like, he was just a better maker of music. But I do think that it would still be very equal. But I would just want to see if people would be stuck in their ways of being like, well, clearly this is the guy who is just.
Well, how long is because Big would probably run out of songs. I mean, if you going like 30, you have to flip the album over.
You could do those 30, but the fact that he did it on 2 albums.
Yes, yeah.
The fact that he did it on 2 albums, I'm like, absolutely. I would actually want to see that. But I would also want to see somebody. I would actually want to see somebody go against Drake. I'm trying to figure out who, like, because Jay-Z versus Drake is just, it's too big of a gap.
Wayne, you want to do Wayne versus Drake? Dang. You gotta do Kanye then. That's the only other person.
Kanye versus Drake would actually be good. I think Kanye would get him though. I think Kanye would actually get him.
Ah,
I don't know. I don't, but that's why I would want to see it because I know no music, none of the songs, no songs at any point in them verses where people be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I seen a couple of their reactions in these verses before, like, "Why you playing that?"
You know that what would happen is an artist would be like putting out new music or trying to put out an album, and they'd play. Like I seen them doing the Brandy and Monica thing. Monica played a new song from her. Like, say that for later. You
still making
music. Advertise later.
Hold on now. Even when Jeezy got to play a song, I was like, "Look, hold up. He's talking about killing your man, Jeezy. Stop trying to market me this new stuff and destroy him. Why are you playing this? Why are you playing this new music? Who you think won that, by the way?
Was Jeezy versus Gucci, man?
Jeezy versus Gucci.
Tie.
You know what?
That's
close.
Tie.
Yeah, it was close. It was close because I you know, look, I'm more Jeezy. I lean more Jeezy, but Gucci, he kind of reminded me like, oh yeah, he did. I mean, he did have the streets on lock for this grip of time.
It did remind me
his
how
grip.
I was at Morehouse when 101 was, and I was like, oh damn, he did have like a crazy grip on the streets. Like this is, but I think Gucci had more of a spaced out. You know what I mean? Like he had one 2 years ago, and then he had one. You know what I mean? So it was like Jeezy hasn't done anything that like really made some noise in a while. But I like all of this stuff, man. It just nostalgia is dangerous for me.
It's dangerous for most of it.
Cause you saw that clip with Andre 3000, and he was talking about not wanting to make music after being 40 because he felt like he was like, I just see my heroes and they just look stupid. Like he said some shit like that, and I was just like, damn.
And a week later, you saw a nigga at an open mic putting his name number 25 and not getting up. Man, I cannot take him because he has not put out an album. Period. I don't care. I don't care what people say. They're like, oh, greatest rapper of all time. Like 0 albums. You can't be the greatest with 0 albums. You can't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Love Below isn't really a rap album.
That's still double. It's still a double. They act like they be playing Big Boy like he didn't need him. They need each other. They needed each other. But Big Boy at least put out 4.
Big Boy just came strong. When Big Boy realized the group thing was what it was, he just turned up the solo thing on 10. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, he made himself like Big Boy was one of the cats that I gave a lot of props to because back when the House of Blues was cracking, like he was one of those cats that I could see because when I do business with people, I always ask them how they make money, who's making, just whatever. I'm just that I just ask questions. And I remember Big Boy was doing these, he was one of the first artists to really do these House of Blues tours where they would just really hit like all the House of Blues across the country. And I knew how much he was getting, and I was like, dang, he don't have to deal with the little riffraff and the woo woo woo. And then if he has gaps in between the House of Blues, he could stop and pick up that little come in at midnight, rock 2 songs type of bread, and and whatever. So yeah, it was genius to me. It was genius.
Why wasn't Andre doing that, man? At least Big Boy had the purple ribbon army.
He was not concerned about it.
Well, he could say his concerned ass out of the greatest hip hop artist of all time conversation. Thank you.
What probably happens though is the stuff like that is, and this is why sometimes I could actually like marvel at somebody like Jay, because he's not so much of an artist where he could stay in it because he like, yo, it's not that deep. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody like Andre is having like this internal battle of like life and all of that stuff. And Jay is just out here just like, yo, it ain't really that deep. And like,
to tell you how accurate you're being right now, Jay-Z had a full-blown retirement concert where he's like, I'm out of the game. Y'all can have it, peace, right? You know what made him come back? Budweiser offered him so much money to make a commercial. He turned that commercial to a music video and took his leftover songs, made an album out of it. Budweiser. He had this big old tearful emotional goodbye. And nigga, Budweiser.
They made a documentary about the Black Album. I'm like, yo. And he just came back and was like, I mean, I laughed. So what?
A check got you back into hip hop after retirement. He is a full blown businessman. I do respect that. Next question. What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret is all right. I probably had to say, yeah, this is probably the only one. I felt like when I was graduating high school, I didn't know, like I loved like making people laugh and all of that stuff, but I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do. And I wasn't necessarily comfortable enough to have that conversation with my parents. So like when I told my dad I didn't know what I wanted to do, you know, and I commend him for it, but he was just like, well, you're gonna make money. He was like, well, if you don't know what you want to do, you're gonna make money. So, you know, go to Morehouse for finance and we you know, figure it out, right? So, you know, I feel like not doing that, it allowed me to live life for about, you know, I'd say 8 years before I really got into comedy. But I'm not sure if living that life allowed me to be a better comic. You know what I mean? Starting out. So it's just, but I really do feel like I would have rather gotten started earlier just so, you know what I mean? But like, I learned some things from college and shit like that. And I love my experience and all of that stuff. But I really do feel like I don't regret doing it. I just regret not having the strength to be like, yo, this is what I fuck with this, man.
So. That's exactly my same exact regret. I went to a performing arts high school, man, and we had everything that I'd be searching for in the world. I had in high school, like you from a stage, microphone, every audience, like, you know, if I would have did all that then, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have been nothing. So, you know, I feel you on that.
So describe yourself 5 years ago.
Shit.
You had one half more of yourself?
Yeah. I try to think. 5 years ago, I'm probably the same person. Now you go back 7, I'm a wild
boy.
I'm a wild, right? So like, you know what I mean? Like, so I'll give you the 7 just because like at the end of the day, you know, when I got this DUI, I kind of smartened up and was like, yo, I'm fucking around and it ain't no reason to be fucking around. Like
just
I got
one?
Huh?
Just one? That sobered you up?
Just one. Here's the crazy thing is, I still think to this day, the only reason why I got it is because in New York, it's just taxis. So you get drunk, hop in a taxi, go to the next place, whatever. When I first moved out here, wasn't no Uber. Taxis was costing like $45. I'm like, yo, you driving everywhere. So now when you drive, you got to make sure you get your car home and all of that stuff. So it was like, I took that partying lifestyle from New York and then just transferred it out here. That shit didn't fit at all. It didn't fit.
Hey, I had a homeboy who they had this club out here called the Do-Over. And he was like manager, assistant to like one of your top 6 rappers for sure. Mm-hmm. Oh, kind of old school, kind of old school, but he's definitely in your top 6, I would say. So anyway, so
very confident, Greg. Very confident. Like it got to be somebody.
Yeah,
like, definitely.
He know people, man.
He's in your 6. If he of kind of older guys, yeah, he definitely is. So I take him to the Do-Over, and it's like a beautiful summer day. Like, man, it's cracking. Like it was at this, like, it was at a wine bar. And so somebody had broken into where they kept the wine and they was handing bottles. somehow wine was circulating from where they had the wine stash from where they were selling the wine. But I'm not a wine dude. Like I was drinking at that time. I really didn't like good liquor, but I like cognac. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't like, I really wasn't getting excited on wine. This dude is mixing white wine and Coca-Cola. Gets faded. Throws up. I say that to say, man, a New York cat that drinks and is getting faded, man, that's just a whole nother beast than like an LA cat. You know what I'm saying?
New York too full of aggression, man. New York seriously is like, but I get it because it's so like
passionate. They're passionate.
It's passionate, but everybody is packed onto each other. So I understand. It's like y'all all in the same house, and you in a 2-bedroom apartment, and it's 20 people living in there. Them is not gonna be lovable people. Like them people is like, yo, they tired of people. So it's like, yo, back up, like, yo, back. That whole like, yo, I'm walking here. That shit is a real thing. Cali motherfuckers is more laid back. Like, yo, we got space, we got trees. They got palm trees in the hood, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, y'all at least got palm trees. It's
and a breeze.
It's gunshots ringing out, but you looking at palm leaves and shit. It's like concrete jungle, New York. Nah, man. But I get what you're saying. Like that liquor, once that liquor get in you, all of that stuff, man. I'm such a boring dude now. That's why I don't mind killing myself. I'm like, man, I done seen it all. You know, it's funny is if somebody watched the first part where we were talking about the Eminem, and now they're looking at it now, they like, he said he wasn't a fan, but but is he telling the truth?
Yo, where were you when we found out we had a quarantine?
So I took my girl down to Palm Springs on March 7th, and they were already talking about it. I remember talking to my mom, and she was like, yeah, they're gonna shut everything down. You know, because she's in the medical field or whatever. She was like, yeah, the next logical step is to shut everything down. And then 2 days later, they were like, I was like, we gotta go back to LA quick because this shit is over. But yeah, that's still the wildest thing. Just remembering. You remember when it first started?
Yeah.
Like people were treating other people like they had AIDS in the 80s and shit, bro.
He said the 80s. Yeah, you're right.
It was like spraying down. Like I remember like getting stuff from the store and like literally wiping everything down. And then slowly but surely, that shit was like, I ain't wiping everything down. Like it's June. We did that shit in March. Like
freezing my clothes, man. We thought that come in the house, put your clothes in the freezer, thinking that you was killing it. Then you find out it likes the cold.
It was this shit. But then that's another thing. Nobody knew. Every 2 weeks, it was a different. You know, you can catch it on surfaces. You know, you can't catch it on surfaces. Like, yo, don't look somebody in the eyes. You know, you can look them in the eyes. Just don't stand in front of them. I'm just like, man.
I was in Costco in line, and this was like right before because I was kind of following it before people just went crazy with the Costco thing. Like I went to Costco on a Sunday and waited like 10 minutes to get in. And then I went another day and I was there at 9 in-the-morning. And then I went another day and I was there at 6 in-the-morning. And then the last time I went, I was there at 4 in-the-morning. Like literally I still got Costco toilet paper in the in the room, man.
Stacked up. I was just about to comment on that shit. Everybody, we all knew motherfuckers was more scared to shit without toilet paper. All the bottled water and all the fresh water and shit was still on the racks, but the toilet paper, not paper towels, no nothing, just toilet paper was gone forever. I was like, damn.
And I was in line, and I remember on the Sunday that I waited 15 minutes to get in, I was in line, and there was a guy behind me, And people weren't wearing masks then. Like it wasn't to the mask part. It was just like this thing is happening.
Oh, okay.
And they were kind of telling us to space out in line a little bit, but the 6 foot thing hadn't jumped off. And I remember the guy behind me, I heard him cough, but I didn't see him. You would have thought he farted in a closed room. Everybody was like, turned around, looked at this fool. Turned around, looked at this fool like, man, you tripping. And homeboy was like, man, I coughed. I had to cough. But I like at that moment, I realized how serious like it was. Like fools was like, it was like, man, it, and what it taught me also was how like as the news of this thing was kind of getting leaked out to us and we are kind of getting educated as we went, how a mob could change. Like I saw people try to cut in line and I saw people getting, and it was crazy. It's like, I got dogs. And so I know what it is. Like I never give my dogs anything that anyone can claim to themselves because they'll probably kill each other. You know what I'm saying? You got to throw community, whatever you toss back there, got to be community. But I remember seeing people go from 0 to 10 and like even ladies, you know what I'm saying? And ready to strap. And it's just like, man, we just trying to get in. So with that being said, you're doing your thing with your comedy, whatnot, you moving around now. Where do you see social interaction going in the next 5 years?
I don't think we get locked down no more. I just don't think the people are with it.
They ain't gonna go for that.
Yeah. I just like, and I went to Atlanta and I like I've been to a couple of red states. Like I did some shows in Orlando, I did some shows in Atlanta, and I'm realizing these red states have already made it in their mind. They was like, yo, the people that's gonna die is gonna die, but I'm not going back inside. Like, I'm not going back inside, yo. Fuck your grandmother, whatever situation y'all got going on, that's between y'all. But I'm partying like, yo, it is what it is. But I do feel like the best thing that I took out of this whole thing, man, is, yo, if you said it earlier, but if you are not committed to yourself and creating a structure where you can self-sustain.
Yeah.
You can self-sustain because the majority of entertainers are just hired guns, right? We just assassins waiting for a call to get somebody, right? So comedians for sure are always waiting for someone to be like, yo, I got something for you, or yo, you got an audition, or blah, blah. And this pandemic just showed me, it's like, yo, don't do that, because you can't sustain like that. Like now it's on some, yo, I got 2 shows that I run. Hollywood could shut down tomorrow and that don't have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And it is the most calming and frightening thing that I've had to, you know what I mean? Because like people, yo, being an entrepreneur is like, yo, people glorify that shit, but it ain't nobody to blame. See, a lot of people like putting blame on, it's like the boss, that company is bad over the, no, you the boss, you the company. If shit is terrible, it's your fault. Yep. You can't talk to a motherfucker at the water cooler about yourself. He'll be like, yeah, man, this motherfucker don't know what he's doing over here. Like, it's you're the motherfucker. Like, so to me, I just feel like everybody is going to go into this independent contractor mode the further and further we go down this road.
Yep.
And I think even the social interaction, there are going to be people that are trying to create experiences that are more geared towards the technology than the actual human experience, right? Because if I'm DJ Khaled or I'm Puff or somebody like that, I can have 1 million people put on a virtual reality thing and all pay $10, right? And have no insurance quarrels. I don't have to worry about venues. I don't have to worry about nothing, right? Like I kind of am seeing them do it for the NBA. they're doing this little courtside virtual experiences where you can just put the goggles on and you're gonna be. It's like, yo, if I'm not a basketball fan, why I wanna pay for the nosebleed sections at Madison Square Garden when I could just pay $10 to sit by Rihanna and Chris Rock courtside? You know what I mean? Like, it's a thing where I do believe, like, yo, the real artists, the purists, are gonna have this fight on their hands where it's like, yo, I want to do real human shows. And people gonna be like, but you could make $20 million a show.
Doing a hologram.
Because mind you, a motherfucker like J-Lo, Mariah Carey, Drake, all of these people, now I ain't even gotta fly. Now I don't need no costs. Now I don't need none of that shit. I tell you what, I'll be performing every month on Tuesday, 8 o'clock. I got 50 million people in the stands. If 50 million people come to see me and they only pay $2, think about it. I just made $100 million and I got nothing. This is all over the internet. So I'm gonna start, as an artist, I'm just making my arrangements of I see it going this. Like, I even tried to, like, I was talking to this company, this virtual reality company, like, even when the pandemic hit, I was talking about putting on a virtual comedy show, getting a 360-degree camera, setting that shit up, testing people, putting them in the audience, and then bringing 5 comedians up, and then they would perform, and then you put the goggles on, and it would be like you're sitting in the crowd. And that might be something, right? Someday. But I think the pandemic sped that up. Because no one, you know what I mean? No one was, but I'm already seeing my nephew, he's playing on the PS5 like that, putting them Oculus things on. These kids don't care about that experience because they're not used to it. Mm-hmm. So, Jam Master Jay, we like, yo, that shit is.
Hey, I'm gonna share a quick one with you before we close out.
All right.
What you just told me made me feel similar to how I felt when I was delivering I delivered a mastered album to these Germans that had licensed a Pharcyde record, like in 2004. Probably was around 2004 at this. It was called Midem. It happened during the same time as the Cannes Film Festival, and it was for like musicians, comedians, whoever. You went to this convention that just had distribution there, like world distribution. So you just basically went out there. Yeah, man, I was kind of ahead of the game back then, man. I was out there, man, working the chilling circuit, trying to make my rounds. You know what I'm saying? Bounced over to France with the mastered CD. But I met this dude from Canada, and we were having a drink, and we both were kind of like loners. We both went out there to handle business, but we didn't come with anybody or whatever. So we met each other probably in a hotel lobby or something like that. We were having a drink, and he was like, "Man, the CD is about to be extinct." He was like, there's going to be this thing called the MP3, and it's good, or the MP3 is going to become more popular and all this. And I remember hearing people talk about the MP3 at the time, and they were like, the Puritans that I heard were kind of like, "No, MP3 is never going to sound as good as blah, blah, blah. And MP3, it can't hold the sound, and it's got to be compressed and blah, blah, blah."
Bad bet.
And Homeboy was like, "Yo, the CD's a wrap, my man." And I remember thinking at that time, all of the income that I saw in my life that could take me to a higher way of living was by this group that I was working with, selling a bunch of CDs, and then me getting a percentage of that. And so the whole playing, like if I'm playing chess or checkers, somebody just took their arm and said, "Schwack," everything knocked off the board, and had to find another way. But I feel that that's where we are right now. Like and that's why, dude, I commend you. I give it up to you. I give it up to Ryan, because you dudes are making a way. You have your own natural resource, and you're jarring it, and you're able to feed it to people. You know what I'm saying? And it's not snake oil. That's the whole twist, right? Because there are a lot of snake oil peddlers out there that's peddling the snake oil, man. And that's where the whole longevity thing just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of, people are only going to go for that so much. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to be like, oh, but man, I appreciate you, Austin, man. You gave me way more than I wanted, man. Interesting, smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I'm over here getting game, man. You know what I'm saying?
I apologize, man. Sometimes I be talking a lot and I'll be passionate. I remember Jeremy was like, "Oh yeah, no, you gonna do fine, man. You just you be talking, Austin." I'm like, yeah. Sometimes
you know what I said? I was like, yo, I already know. I said I'm gonna be able to ask the question and give you the gas. You gonna go? And today that question was, what unique take do you have on relationships? That was the one. That was the one.
got me revved up. I'm like, yo, man, I gotta go to this girl house later. By the way, I'm like, gotta stop by before I hit the Ha Ha Comedy Club. I'm like, you still coming by tonight, right? Yeah, I'm still coming by tonight.
So what's up, man? Austin, give your social media, give your podcast, let the people know where they can find you.
Absolutely, man. So it's Austin Hall Comedy on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. With all due offense, is actually on our Patreon. We have a YouTube channel that we're about to start actually releasing some videos to, but the majority of our content is on Patreon 301 Studios, which is our production company. And then different experiences on iTunes, and my YouTube channel, Austin Hall Comedy. But I appreciate you guys, man, both of y'all. Like I said, you know, I'm a huge fan of Jeremy's. And after getting to talk to you, man, I'm a even bigger fan of you and your work. You know what I mean? You know, you've actually done a lot more than people, than people would actually give you credit for. So
on the management side, I work with the management.
I know, but here's the thing. The manager got a lot more to do with groups.
Oh yeah, we work.
With groups on the first half of hip hop, I really do feel like the management had a lot to do with those groups and the directions that they went and all of that stuff, man. So, I mean, the further that we get down the line with these new artists and stuff like that, they cutting out all of that shit. They like, man, I know what the kids want. Like, but I really do appreciate both of y'all, man. I enjoyed this talk. I love to come back on whenever you guys have me. You know what I mean?
For sure. Real quick, Jeremy, you got anything you want to shout out? Give your socials.
Jeremy Comedy. Let me see on IG. You know what? I'm gonna start promoting this. I'm gonna do an hour at the Comedy Nook, July 31st. I'm just gonna run my current hour. I think I'm gonna try to make that a monthly thing, just because I got a lot to say and it evolves over time. So other than that, I started this job at the Comedy Store. I don't know what I'm doing in my life. So just come by and say hi. That's it. And you know what I mean? Slip me a 10, a 20, 30, something like that if you're trying to sit in a nice seat.
You make it happen for him.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
All right. Well, man, it's been Splendid.